Welcome to the Copy Talk podcast. Discussions in this show should not be construed as specific recommendations or investment advice. Always consult with your investment professional before making important investment decisions. Securities offered through registered representatives of Cambridge Investment Research Incorporated, a broker-dealer member, FINRA SIPC. Advisory services through Cambridge Investment Research Advisors Incorporated, a registered investment advisor. Financial planning services through Lighthouse Financial, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Shannon Ross is CEO and managing partner of Lighthouse Financial. Lighthouse and Cambridge are not affiliated. And now, here's your host, Shannon Ross.
Well, welcome everybody back from Thanksgiving break.
Hello.
Welcome to the month of December.
Yes.
We are back in the Copy Talk studio.
Yes, we
getting
are.
ready to kick off a new series today and have a little fun. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was fantastic.
Was it fun?
It was fun. It was good. We stayed here.
I know, we didn't spend it together. I was a little bummed about that.
That's because you left. We can't spend it together if you leave. But no, it was fun. It was good. We just hung out and it was chill. My husband, massive kudos to my husband. He made a beef Wellington that was, he's never made one before his whole life. It was unreal.
So you went a little not traditional route.
We went more the English route.
Oh, why am I not
Why is that
surprised?
not surprising?
Yes.
It was so good. Like, he will have to make that every year.
That's not the one with the pastry over the beef. It's like with the mushroom sauce.
Yeah.
Oh, inside the pastry, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that is good.
Yeah, I mean, he
bet it was
did the whole
amazing.
dough, wrapped it, made the mushroom paste. Like, he did
Can we
all
do
the
that
things.
again for Christmas? Like,
Yes.
Can he make my husband's birthday dinner?
Seriously, it was that amazing. It was that I was a little. He's a great cook, you know that.
Yeah.
I was a little nervous, but it was really good.
Oh,
How was yours?
nice. It was good. Well, as you know, we went to my favorite
Yeah.
state on the planet Earth, which was the state of Texas. Yeehaw. And it was great. And it was nice weather. And I got to wear my flip-flops and bathing suits as much as I could. I mean, it was, I think, at 59 at one point, but I was out there.
You were out there. You texted
I get
me.
my little magazines. And, I mean, it's nothing fancy, but for me, I just love it. My husband and I love it. My kids get so bored, and they're so counting
Texas.
the days. They do, but all their friends are back
They're all
here,
here,
and they're
yeah.
getting to the teenage stage, so they're
Especially
like, really,
Hales, yeah.
again, we're going again after
Yeah.
Christmas. So we're like, yep.
You don't have to go.
I know.
Actually, I'm going out of town too, so never mind. We can.
I know. So
David
it
thinks we
was
should
really
carpool.
fun. I know.
Since we're
Well,
all going
we're
that
kind of, you're
direction.
going to Bama, so we're kind
gonna
of
drive
like
through
midway
Texas.
for you,
Yeah.
so you can make us a pop by.
Yeah, a pop
Pop
by.
by.
Haven't.
Right. So, but I ate a lot.
A lot.
A
Did you do
lot.
traditional?
Yes, we did. We did. But what was fun about this year, it was just us. So it wasn't chaos. It wasn't, a lot of people
Sure.
or anything like that. So cooking was, doable.
Yeah.
And I made each of my kids make a dish with me. And so that was super fun because, some of my kids cook more than others. Some have a long way to go,
Yeah.
especially on my boyfriend.
I'm impressed with your patience to do that.
Well,
Good job.
the one that doesn't know anything, we worked on, like a box of stovetop stuffing. Like, we kept it real simple.
You got to start somewhere. Learn how to read instructions.
Yeah. So it was really fun and everything turned out great. And it was
Good.
a really restful week, which was needed.
Good.
So
Yes.
it was good. And now flip the page. We're into December.
We
We're
are.
into the Christmas season. I'm so
are.
excited.
Are you done Christmas shopping?
Yes, but I keep adding little things here and there. I mean, the poor
That's where I get
Amazon
in
man.
trouble.
I mean, he should just really go from the warehouse to my house every day. Like,
Well, he does.
I think when we don't have a package delivered, he wonders if we died or something.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it's ridiculous how much Amazon comes to my house.
I don't know what I would do without
I
Amazon.
know, but I'm getting, because similar to you, because your husband's birthday is very close to Christmas.
Yes,
Mine
good
is my
gracious.
husband's birthday is Christmas Eve, so it's so much to figure
It's a
out
lot.
and to plan.
It's stressful.
And so, things are on back order, so I have to find it somewhere else, or, so it's that juggling kind of
Yeah.
thing. But it apparently is working out fairly well. So
Good.
I haven't hit any massive snags yet.
I
How
haven't
about
either.
you? Yeah.
Haven't either. No, I think I'm done. I always say that, and then I keep adding stuff to it. But I think
Well,
for
I
the
have to
most
say,
part,
I mean, this year, because of inflation and costs of goods and things like
supply
that,
chain stuff.
I'm,
yeah.
I'm trying to prepare my kids. I'm like, it's not about, quantity. It's about if you,
I know.
And I don't know about your kids out there, but my kids' ticket items keep going. I'm like, what? Who do you think you are? Do you think
For
you're the
this?
Rockefellers or something? And so, I was trying to show my kids what we got at Christmas. I was trying to explain to my 9-year-old the other night what an Etch-a-Sketch was. Like, this is what we had before iPads. It was no battery. It was sand and black lines. And you had 2 knobs that you were trying to make some kind of picture.
One year we should say we're doing all vintage presents, and they're going to see what it was like.
Oh, my
And I'm going to hunt down a Cabbage Patch.
Oh, yes.
Those are terrifying looking things. I can't even believe those were cool.
I
Right?
know.
That should scare somebody.
I know.
Anyways.
I know. So how about Christmas traditions? Kind of what have you guys started, and kind of what's on your list this month?
I mean, we decorate.
I love when I ask you questions.
Every time she asks me, I know. I look at her like she's got 3 heads. I mean, same old. We decorate, which we finally. It takes us like a week to decorate. We do a lot
You
for
do all out.
Christmas.
Like I
We
said,
do.
you go on the circuit.
We
You're
do.
on the route.
We're no.
On our
Well,
on light tours.
One year we were the Griswolds. Now that's not happening this year. Although, anyways,
knows?
who knows once my husband gets on
Yep.
the lights.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, it's just listening to Christmas music and going shopping. We have a Christmas party this weekend, so that'll
right,
be
we
fun. But I really we can talk about this, and I'll ask you about your Christmas traditions in a minute. But I really have something I have to
this
share.
is why I wanted to bring it up very early in the show.
So excuse me, sorry, Kel. I am so excited to announce, if you have listened to the show for any length of time,
They know you at all.
if you know me at all, if you've ever paid attention to any of and I don't have him out
props.
today.
That's okay.
But little Flip, the donkey, is usually out here. But my announcement is, as of this past weekend, I adopted 2 miniature donkeys.
That's
Their
so
names
exciting
are
for
Pistol
you.
and Pete, and they are precious. I am in love. I am already planning monogrammed blankets. Like, I am off the rails with excitement. I went to Long Hope Stocking Shelter. I am making a plug for them. They don't know this. Amazing facility. They have all kinds, miniature, full-size donkeys, whatever. And they are amazing organization. If you have a passion for donkeys, want to volunteer, want to adopt, they got plenty. Look them up because they're amazing. But I went and met Pistol and Pete, and I led them through an obstacle course, and I learned how to clean their hooves. And it's.
I'm so happy for you.
If
This is
anybody
like
can see, this is like my dream.
decades worth of
Oh,
desire,
my gosh.
of dreams and hopes.
Yeah.
Coming to fruition.
And they fell in love with me. I'm sure they really didn't, but I believe that
You
they
believe
did.
they're your new set of twins.
They're absolutely like they're my babies.
Eden's gonna feel a little neglected, I think, for the first couple months.
He led Pete through
Yeah.
his obstacle course. I took Pistol, so I think my husband is like, why did I suggest this? Because it was his suggestion. So yes, Pistol and Pete, but I don't get to bring them home till after the first of the year
Yeah.
because we're traveling for
Which
Christmas.
is not that far. It's less than a month away. Well, it's like a month away.
I would have them
Yeah.
at my house right now, but they're emotional
Exciting.
animals, and so we didn't think it would be wise to
Sure.
like them get used to you, and then you leave to go to town, and somebody
Starting your
takes care
petting
of them.
zoo.
I'm telling you what,
excited.
I'm
And your
over the
hat
moon.
is very appropriate because, like, you are finally going to be more on the farming route.
Well, did you get the hat though? Did you look at it? It says cash.
I know.
And then
Oh,
cow.
cash cow. That's cute.
Isn't this funny? I found it on
I
Amazon.
do think it's funny.
I thought it was great. I really need now one with a donkey.
I know.
Well, there was one, but it had
Yeah.
a foul word on it. So,
Oh, yeah. I've gotten you a shirt like that says bad and then a picture of a donkey.
so
on
the
it.
day we went to go, I know we need to get to our show, but the day I went to look at Pistol, okay, so
Yeah.
you have to like put it in an adoption
Yeah.
app, and you have to send all these pictures of your place. Like, this is no joke. They don't give their donkeys to just anyone.
Sure,
Like, you
which
have
is
to
great.
Which is great, and they
Yeah.
love them. I mean, their donkeys there get like chiropractic care, acupuncture, masseuses. Like, they're not playing around with rehabilitating some that have
Yeah,
been abused and all that. So,
absolutely. Neglected.
anyways, my point. Let me get to it. That morning, I know we're going. Right, and we're going to see the donkeys, and I'm getting dressed. I'm going to be in a barn, so I need to not. But I pulled out the t-shirt,
Oh, did you? Oh,
Mm-hmm. and it's got a
yay.
huge donkey on it with sunglasses, and it says a certain thing on it. And I mean, I shouldn't.
Well, it
say
doesn't say the swear word on it.
Well, it just says
It
bad.
says bad, and then a
then-
picture of a donkey.
Right. So I hold this up to my son. I was like, "Do you think this would be too much to wear today?" He's like, "Yeah, just a bit."
Plus, you were also interviewing still. I mean,
they're
you know,
like
the adoption.
they're
so,
deciding if I get
that
to
was
be.
probably a wise move.
Yeah, I was. Well, I think she. I mean, when I said this was a dream come true, she was probably like, "Wow," but they love their donkeys. Anyways, that's
Well, it
my
made
big
her day
news.
of how excited you were.
Just-
I bet not many of their adoptive parents are quite as excited as you
I
were.
wanted 4. I mean, I nearly took a family of 3, a mom and 2 twins, if I hadn't fallen in love with Pete and Pistol so fast, and if my husband hadn't said 2 is
Sure.
2's it. Like
Hey,
2,
2
because you can't
is
just adopt
amazing.
one. Did you know that? They will not let you just adopt one
Because
unless
they need each other.
Well, donkeys, especially minis,
Or
are better in pairs. But even
They
if you're
bond, isn't that what you
they
said?
have bond buddies.
bond buddies.
Pete and Pistol have been together their whole lives.
awesome.
Y'all are going to hear so much about these blasted
Oh,
donkeys.
yes, we will.
There's going to
I'm
be
excited.
pictures. I'm like a new mom. So
You
that's
are like a new adopted mom. I'm so
they come to my
for
like below my
you.
waist.
They're so cute.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
I'm
Well,
sorry,
so
I'm
happy
stop
for
now.
you.
Yep,
that
thanks.
and you got your Bama sweatshirt on. You just had a
Representing
good
for
week and
SEC
fantasy
this
football.
weekend.
You're in the playoffs. I mean, you're winning at life right now.
I am.
That's good. 'Cause you had a rough couple of months here in the middle of
That's
2021.
true. So I got me some donkeys.
Ending on a high note.
That's
for
right.
You.
And we got me some
Hopefully
donkeys.
out there, it's going to end on a high note for all of our audience. You know, they can take that mojo and
Let me sprinkle it out there in Copy Talk
magical,
world.
you know, dust on everything. So,
Anyways, that was my
that's
big news.
exciting.
I couldn't
That
wait.
is a big announcement.
Because
We're
Ryan and Kelly
excited for
didn't know. You knew.
I know.
And they know my love for donkeys, so I was
know.
really
On
excited
our
to tell
website,
them.
your bio picture is with a donkey. So
Yes.
now we'll maybe have to redo that to get your kids in there too.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, Pistol and Pete are going to be on the website. They're kind of going to be like Copy Talk mascots.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they should be. Oh well, I'm excited for you.
Thanks. Okay, yeah.
Well, our next show. No, just kidding. So next week's show-
sorry.
No, this is great, honestly, because today's show is titled "The Yellow Brick Road."
Yes.
Were you a Wizard of Oz fan when you were little?
Yeah.
When I was real little, I was terrified of those flying monkeys. Like, oh,
Well, they are terrifying.
They
But
are
the movie is
terrifying.
amazing.
I know.
I want those red slippers.
And that witch, I was terrified. What was the bad witch's name?
The Wicked Witch of
The
the
green one.
East or
Yellow.
West? The good one was
know.
the pink one.
Yeah.
Which I wanted that dress.
Glenda, Gilda again.
Glenda.
Glenda.
She was the
Yeah,
witch.
we'll have to do some more
Well, we
research
are
on
really
Wizard
bad. We did
of
not
Oz, but-
prepare for that this morning.
No, we
but
did not. But, and it's
love
not
me-
about the witches. It's about the Yellow Brick Road.
That's right.
And so why I entitled this show this is because we're going to have a new multi-part series. We just finished up before our Thanksgiving game that went so well last show. At least it's funny. When I was
I
listening
laughed
to it,
my
I was
head
like,
off.
I don't know if we ever got the concept of the game even by the end of the show. So,
I
but
was awful at that.
anyway.
By the end of this, when I watched it, I was like, we really we kept writing stuff down and we just show it to each other. I'm like,
but
that's
it was
not
still fun
yeah.
and funny.
Whatever.
But
We had fun.
Before that, we did 7 year-end strategies to grow your wealth. So this we're going to end the year with one of my favorite topics to teach on, to talk about, because of the impact that it has. And the reason why this show is called The Yellow Brick Road is because I have found, both in my life and in so many others that I've been journeying through, this main path has led more people I know to everything they were hoping for in happiness, in health, in relationships, in the work they wanted to do inside themselves, outside themselves. And so the Yellow Brick Road is really a synonym for this path to what we all want. We want a meaningful life. We want a life full of purpose. We want a life full of good things that we can give to others, and we want good things as well. But so the Yellow Brick Road is all around the topic of, can you guess? Generosity.
Of course.
I know.
I did some research.
I know you did.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a lot about generosity over the next few weeks, but not as maybe some of you are thinking. We're going to bring in a little science. We're going to bring in a little statistics. We're going to bring in a little how to give in a way that is actually giving. There's actually a concept out there in a book that I read several years ago that was so good called When Helping Hurts. So it's not just about just giving. It's about giving of yourselves, your time, your talent. It's
Right.
not just about money. Why you should do it. Why you shouldn't just expect things in return. It's not about what you get out of
Right.
it, certainly. But it's also how to do it wisely. From just to make sure that the funds you do donate, if you do donate funds, go towards the cause you mean it to, and how to investigate different nonprofits or charities, and just and also if you're an aggressive giver, what some other programs are out there that you might not even know about. So we're going to take the next few weeks and go through this, but I'm very excited to launch it today. So we're going to kind of talk about the theme of generosity a little bit before we get into the nuts and bolts of it. But I loved this quote from Winston Churchill, which is such a great, a great historical leader.
Oh, yeah.
We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give.
Oh, I like that.
Which is an interesting concept.
Sounds like Winston Churchill.
It does, there's nothing, but I love that introductory quote, because so much of the world's mentality is about getting, taking, striving, all of the, and the stress that comes with those things can wear you out so fast. And to make some adjustments in all of our lives and instead of being all consumers, to start to give time, give talents, and it's not, it could be to your neighbors, to your friends, to your colleagues. It starts actually, I think, in the sphere of influence around you. Yeah. There's always need, there are always need. And as you start this process of finding needs around you, you're going to find that the needs only continue. Yeah. And as you kind of peel apart this topic and start to give, even if it's little amounts of time or little amounts of, little things, your own life starts to just have so much more meaning. And for me, I've seen stress dissipate more than anything else. Is like your grasp starts to loosen a little bit on trying just to make things happen, or the anxiety that money can bring, or, it's not just all about us. And we've talked a lot about that before on this show, but we're going to get a little bit into the depths of this. And we're going to bring a few studies to kind of introduce this topic, because everyone's like, sure, it's better to give than receive. And we all kind of say these taglines, but why is it? And is it like scientifically proven that is actually true? And it actually is scientifically proven. Yeah. And so the one I wanted to start with today is out of the University of California. And they did a whole study around generosity and comparing generous individuals to not as generous individuals. Okay. And how they charted that generous individuals actually live longer and healthier lives. And so they kind of broke it down to a couple different topics of, their first topic was how to pay it forward. And so, an individual that gives to someone else, there's this cycle of paying it forward that person then that receives starts to act more generously towards others for a significant amount of time. And so it's kind of like, putting a penny in a well, and it has one ripple, and then the ripples continue to have, a huge impact. Yeah. I think I don't remember this movie. It was maybe in the 90s, the Pay It Forward movie. Oh, yeah, I remember that movie. Yeah. Which was super cute. But this concept of, and you've seen this even I remember a few shows I talked about the sweet gentleman in the McDonald's line who paid for my meal. Yes. The little thing. And how many articles do you read? Like one person does that and then you do it for the person behind you, and it can carry on for quite a while. Yeah.
Well, someone being generous to you, I think, helps open your eyes. Right. To where you can be generous. Yeah. Because it can be so unexpected, like the guy in front of you at McDonald's. Right. You didn't expect that.
Totally. Absolutely.
But it makes you think more the next time you go to McDonald's or Subway or Starbucks. Yeah. Of, hey, let me just grab this ticket behind me, too.
Yeah, because you just never know, how that, or, especially this time of year, this week, we had Giving Tuesday. There's Black Friday, there's Cyber Monday, and they've started a Giving Tuesday concept to remind people that this season is not just about getting, and we're all in a generous spirit, I think, in December, because we want good things for our family members, for our kids, for our significant others, for those we love in our lives, and for those in our communities that have fallen on hard times. Yeah. And I think I've seen more of that than ever before, just with, some things happening in our individual lives. Right. It's just so inspiring to watch people just open their hearts, open their wallets, open their time.
Open their energy.
Yeah. And just what an impact that makes on people who are struggling. And there are so many people out there. You all know people in your community. You probably don't have to go more than 2 or 3 doors down from your own house. Right. to know someone who has had a rough year, or who has had a death in the family, or, you know, who's going through a hard time, or have someone who's sick, or they're dealing with an illness, you know, and people, they feel seen when you give, you know. I can remember, you know, growing up, you know, especially, you know, when my mom passed away, people were so generous at first, but it was really those who like kept going with us, you know, because, you know, when you experience a trauma and you've had more than your share of this in your own life as well, everyone kind of, you know, gets that initial.
Everybody rallies in the beginning, which is great.
Which is awesome.
Well, you need that.
And makes such a huge impact. Yeah. But it's really the realities that set in at the 3-month mark,
when you go back to
mark,
life,
the 12-month mark. Yeah. And life is normal for everyone else, but you're not in a normal anymore. Normal doesn't exist anymore.
Your time stops. Everybody else is still moving forward. Yeah,
absolutely. And, you know, our brains are wired to pay more attention to stressors because our whole body is wired for kind of fight or flight, right? To heed our survival instincts, to pay more attention to things that could be potentially harmful. So I think people think it's easier to be negative because we're more defaulted, wired that way of like, and when I say negative, more like, oh, it's all about, I have to protect myself. I have to self-protect. I have to monitor this stressor and what can come after me here, or what's the other shoes that's going to drop. And I understand why the short term that's easier, but what all of these studies and what any one of you, because you're all generous out there, I know, is when you start to turn it inside out. When you start to pour yourself out for others, those that are suffering, your own suffering starts to dissipate. Yeah. Your own darkness, your own problems start to become smaller because you're not focusing on them. Right. You're pouring out. You're becoming that river that we've talked about several times.
Well, I think you find it dissipates in a way that's healing, not denial. And I think that's, as you pour yourself out, there's this reciprocity of healing. And again, we're not just talking about money. Right. Anybody has the ability to be generous. Anybody.
Absolutely.
For the most part, anybody. With any of the time, talent, gifts, skills, callings that you have, you can pour those out for someone, and it brings a healing there's a healing reciprocity to it that you suddenly, I don't know if it's just perspective, but it's also, I don't know. I think I felt it in my own life in a way that it's hard to articulate.
There's a freedom to it that comes.
Well, I think it changes your mindset. Yeah. Like there is not that my hurt and my wounds aren't validated, but as I pour out into someone else, there is my perspective and my shift changes on how I view life, how I view my future.
Do you find that as you are generous and as you give to others, do you find that it brings gratefulness for your own situation in your own life?
Yeah, because I think if you are so inward focused, and we've all been there. This is not a shame. This is not a drive-by guilting, but we've all been there. But there is something to when your eyes are opened and when you're helping others. There is this. Something changes in your heart towards your own, whatever. Everybody's got their pain and their plight, right? We've all got issues, but there is something that resets and reframes even whatever hardships you might be going through when you're helping or serving or giving time towards something outside of yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think you're talking about, it cultivates a healthy mindset. Yeah. It starts to lift yourself out of your own pit. Yeah. By focusing on others, and you kind of it's like a brotherhood or sisterhood that it establishes of, you know, how many times have you given not expecting anything in return, but then you turn around and you're going through a hard time, and maybe it's not even the same people, but you get to appreciate, you know, and being on the receiving end. And it's important for all of us to be good givers and receivers. I know some people that are excellent givers, but they are horrible at receiving. They can't receive, and it really. It's a detriment to them because they're always feeling like they have to Then kind of penance comes into
Yeah.
the mix. You feel like you have to always pay people back, or always be, looking for an ulterior motive or agenda or what have you.
You're blocking. And I've been this way before. It blocks an opportunity for somebody else who really just wants to
Yes.
give to you.
Totally.
They don't want you to pay them back.
Yes.
They're not looking for you to do something for them.
Absolutely.
But it can be
Absolutely.
hard to receive.
Yeah.
It can be a challenge because you
Yeah.
feel, oh my gosh, I owe you.
Totally.
I owe you. And I know I'm
Yeah.
guilty of that. Like, oh, I need to pay you back somehow because
Yeah.
this took something from you.
You're
to
kind
give
of
to
stealing
me.
the blessing of that
Yeah.
person who wants to just
Truly. And they're
give
like,
to
yeah,
you.
really? No, I
know.
just want to be generous to you.
No. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's the
Yeah.
other flip side of that coin, that if you are in a place that and somebody's trying to give to you, just let them.
Right.
They want to.
Yeah.
And it's
Absolutely.
joy for both sides.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. I was chuckling in my mind when you were talking
What?
about your ability to receive. I was like, a couple shows ago, we were talking about your child tax credit from the government and how you didn't want to open it. It's a little
It's
different
true.
because it's from the government, but that was
Well, I just don't believe the government's going to
You're
be
like,
generous
what
to
is
me.
this?
Sorry. Hot potato. Get that off my plate. We've gotten like 4 more. Like, why?
well, and again, our
I mean, I
government
know
is
why
trying to-
now.
I know.
But every time it comes, I
Absolutely.
I look at it in shock. Even I've studied it now. I know
Yeah.
why it's coming.
But
Yeah.
part of our, I think, responsibility of being good neighbors, and for loving others is to show that kindness and generosity. I mean, when someone feels seen, it
And
can
known.
change their entire
Absol-
life. It can
One day at a
transform-
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you never know. And nothing's taught me that more than this fall, just with so many things that have happened. Just, a few doors down, you just don't know. You think you know what people are going through, but you just don't. And there's been so much. And I think it's also because we're all in about, 18 to 24 months of this whole new life, new wave. It's a new variant every day. It's a new thing to fear. It's a new thing to consider. It's a new thing to, and everybody is worn out. There's a level of weariness setting in to folks that are pushing people over the edge or pushing people to a point,
I'm trying. Yeah. How did you know? Oh, was I doing the wrong one? It's true.
And I think that's why I feel like I'm witnessing more and more tragedy, because I think people are just done.
Oh, people are done. I think that's
and
what
they're
makes
just worn out, and I feel a weariness sometimes in my
Yes.
own life where I'm like,
I definitely
my
do.
Gosh,
Yeah.
like I am worn out. If I have to read about one more potential variant come across the seas, and I'm just like,
it.
oh my gosh.
Just like when we feel like we might be getting better.
Yeah, and I feel like it was like the day after Thanksgiving, all of the stuff about Omicron started. I was like, really? Like the day after Thanksgiving, and then the stock market tanked, and then like so many things. I'm like, I just want to go back to my turkey and gravy.
Well, and there's so
My mashed potatoes.
all the headlines right now are just.
Yeah.
I mean, from people. There's so many tragedies going on. You've got the high school shooting that just happened.
Yes,
You've
in
got
Michigan.
the Christmas parade.
Yeah.
That the man drove his car and is now killed. I forget how many. I know there was a child that just passed away from their injuries from that. And then of course you've got Omicron, and then you've got stock market, and then you've got this, and then you've got that, and it's just.
Yeah.
I think this year more than ever, if you don't see a need right now around
Right.
you, your eyes aren't open.
Sure.
I guarantee you there is someone, a neighbor, someone in your life, your workplace, your sphere of influence, the Starbucks you go to, the grocery
Yes.
store,
Yes.
person who checks you out. I can guarantee you there is someone who needs you to just smile or be nice
Yeah.
or maybe just shut your mouth if you've got nothing good to say, and that'll be a seed sown of just,
Totally.
like, and I get it. Sometimes we're in a bad mood. I'm not, again, not a drive-by guilting, but I promise you,
But
if you
a
open your
challenge
eyes.
out there of like open your
Open
this week,
your eyes.
find that person,
There-
find that neighbor, find that find a couple people that you're gonna actually like set out to bless.
Yeah.
in different ways.
Well, and just
this month.
ask each day to be, I
Yeah.
guarantee you, whatever your faith
Yeah.
or belief system is, everybody
Sure.
clearly knows what ours
Yeah.
is, but I guarantee you something will cross your path. If you are intentional about
Absolutely.
being generous, an opportunity will present itself that day. Maybe the person in front of you at the checkout line at the grocery store, you can see
Yeah.
them fiddling with they don't have the money to pay for it.
No doubt.
If you have the ability,
Yeah.
again, if you have the ability, there you go. I promise
Yeah.
you something will show up.
And here's
be
something
generous.
super interesting. I'd heard this a couple times, but I did some research behind it. So this is from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Who do you think, what socioeconomic class do you think gives the most?
Well,
What would be
okay.
your
Are we
instinct?
talking about philanthropy and tax write-off types of stuff to where you can, like charitable
No,
giving?
just giving. I'm just talking about giving. I'm not talking about charities. I'm
Okay,
talking
all right.
about giving, just being generous. I bet most of you out there, what would you think? I know you love questions.
Well, if there's no prize involved, I'm really not into this. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if it was the lower to middle class.
Yeah. So, I mean, everyone thinks it's the upper class,
Yeah.
like the quote rich,
Sure.
or the middle class. Actually, the poorest 1/5 of Americans give over 2 times what the wealthiest 1/5 of Americans give
Wow.
in terms of percentage of their income.
Wow.
So, for all of us who thinks like, oh, I'm too poor to, you know what? The most generous class in our nation is classified as the poorest 1/5, which is awesome. Which I think it's because, and I've gone through seasons of being in that 1/5. I know you all have as well.
Yep.
You're closer to, what it feels like to be poor.
Absolutely.
You know what it feels like every day to be in need. So you don't want anyone have to feel that.
Well, I think you
As you
I think
can
you
give
see it more.
anything, and you understand, number one, it doesn't require as much to make you happy.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the most demanding people I know have the biggest bank accounts I see.
Yeah.
And it's become this like insatiable requirements and more and more and more.
But wouldn't you say that those upper, and this again, this is not we're not shaming anybody here.
No,
like
but we're kind of saying, hey, it's all of, you know what I mean? Like we can all be generous, and it doesn't have to be money, but this was such an interesting fact.
Well, and I think as you, maybe when you don't experience as many needs in your life, your blind spot is you don't identify or you can't see the needs in other people's lives.
Right.
And again, it's not just financial.
Yeah.
But as you, and let's just be real, the circles that you're running in,
Sure.
the needs may not be financial.
Yeah.
But the other needs are very well masked.
Absolutely.
And very well hidden, because it could be mental health.
Absolutely.
It could be a struggling relationship and marriage, but those things are all hidden.
Absolutely.
Which is why you have to be more intentional about asking people, how are you? What is your need? I don't care what class you are. So that surprises me, but that doesn't surprise me.
I know. It does, but it doesn't.
It does, but
I know.
it doesn't.
I mean, I think it did for me regarding the more than 2 times.
Yeah,
that part definitely surprised me, because what also is, the poorest 1/5 of Americans, they don't even get a tax deduction for their giving, because they don't need tax deductions, because they are obviously below a certain line. They might not even owe taxes.
Well, they're not even
so they're
looking
not
for a
even
deduction.
doing it. Again, they're not. But the wealthy, people out there that only do it for a deduction.
Yeah. And it's not wrong to get a deduction.
It's not. But
It's
that's
not.
not what you want your
It's
motive
not the
to
motivator.
be. Because then you're not going to, it's so much more about being happy for what you have and trying to live below your means and not pressing the boundaries so tightly where you can't respond to a need that you see. And I'm not just talking monetarily. You can be too busy.
That's right.
And that I'm guilty of this constantly, and being so convicted of I need to leave enough time in my schedule to go deliver groceries to a friend, who's struggling, or go have coffee, or take someone to lunch, or just invite them over to chat.
Right.
So many people feel so isolated for so long. They just want time with you.
Yeah.
So it's not just, monetarily. So it's just a challenge of, let's leave room. Let's give ourselves room. Let's open our eyes to your point, and start to see who we can impact this month. And that's a challenge out there. And so next show, what we're going to also
I didn't even get to mine.
We didn't.
Okay,
I'm
so
sorry.
teaser.
Yes.
Teaser. I do have the 8 biggest benefits of being generous.
I know. So we'll kick off next week. So because there are,
they're
really
significant,
huge,
and statistically,
benefits.
like statistics that support. This is not just we made a list.
That's right.
Of 8, nor did I just Google a list of 8. But there are statistics that support.
Yep, and proven and studied. So
the benefits of being generous.
But the Pistol and Pete were worth announcing today.
Well, I feel like,
and I love that that's their name, because I feel like for you and David, there couldn't be 2 donkeys that were named more appropriately for you guys. I love it.
Why? Because I'm a pistol. I'll take
One
that.
of you 2 are always a pistol about something.
That's
and we get such a kick out of you. We love you.
We are. Yeah, my husband was generous to me by letting me adopt 2 donkeys.
Yes. That's awesome. Well, more to come on that, everyone. But we welcome you back. Thank you for joining us. Join us next week as we continue.
Follow us on Instagram.
Yellow Brick Road.
Yes. I do love that
scenario.
title. Good title, by the way.
Thank you.
That was really creative. I'm not creative, so I'm so jealous of that.
But find us.
Instagram.
Look us up this week.
CoffeeTalkPodcast.com. Leave us a message if you've got a sanity spend. Or tell us your favorite Christmas tradition. Or maybe if you've had an opportunity to be generous, let's go with that. We want to hear. Doesn't matter what it is
in your life of
or
someone
being
generous to you, or
Yep.
what have you seen to make an impact on someone
And then,
else.
of course, the one we love the most, YouTube.
YouTube. That's right.
It's the best one I've ever done.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks,
We'll see you
everybody.
next week.
Discussions in this show should not be construed as specific recommendations or investment advice. Always consult with your investment professional before making important investment decisions. Securities offered through registered representatives of Cambridge Investment Research Incorporated, a broker-dealer member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services through Cambridge Investment Research Advisors Incorporated, a registered investment advisor. Financial planning services through Lighthouse Financial LLC, a registered investment advisor. Shannon Ross is CEO and managing partner of Lighthouse Financial. Lighthouse and Cambridge are not affiliated.